Jehovah can give us not just comfort, but also strength. Notice how that's highlighted in this talk by Brother Lett.
The theme for my discussion is never let Satan intimidate you. To intimidate means to try to get someone to do or not do something by bullying, terrorizing, threatening them. And of course, Satan is a god of intimidation. That's one way he tries to get people to do what he wants. On the other hand, Jehovah always motivates by love.
Yeah, Jehovah would never intimidate someone into staying in his organization through threats of shunning or anything like that. Oh, wait.
But of course, Satan, as we said, tries to still use intimidation today. If you don't take this blood transfusion, you will surely die. If you don't accept this job, talking about a job that'll damage you spiritually, your family will starve. Why won't you smoke this cigarette? Are you afraid? Are you chicken? Why won't you date this girl in your class who likes you? Are you a homosexual? Today, Satan uses intimidation. 1 Peter 5:8 says, the devil walks about like a roaring lion. And often, those roars take the form of intimidation, kind of like the roars of a literal lion, according to the Insight book, are calculated to cause domestic animals to stampede and break out of their protective enclosure.
I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure lions as a species predate the domestication of animals. And that's... Stephen Lett's decided in his mind that lions' roars are calculated or designed for that expressed purpose. This is the wisdom of the faithful slave. This is the wisdom of God's channel of communication with mankind. And as for all that unbridled madness about blood transfusions and homosexuals, wow.
If you don't take this blood transfusion, you will surely die. If you don't accept this job, talking about a job that'll damage you spiritually, your family will starve. Why won't you smoke this cigarette? Are you afraid? Are you chicken? Why won't you date this girl in your class who likes you? Are you a homosexual?
Where do I even begin to unpack this craziness? This rant, this confused babble actually gives me hope in a strange way, because some of you may have seen a video I put out recently, My Greatest Wish and My Worst Fears, in which I speculated about the organization getting smart and slowly learning that individuals like Stephen Lett need to be put out to pasture, quite frankly, if their propaganda is going to actually work on thinking adults. And the fact that they've included this mad stupidity in the May 2023 JW Broadcasting episode, I mean, it's a little bit early to be celebrating, but it at least gives me a bit of hope. So Stephen Lett is effectively straw-manning criticism of the organization's stance on blood by accusing doctors of intimidating Jehovah's Witnesses into having a blood transfusion. It's not about trying to save their lives. It's not about doctors doing their jobs and in life or death situations providing Jehovah's Witnesses with the health care they need to live. It's about Satan somehow, and it's about doctors being pawns of Satan and trying to wield intimidation on Jehovah's Witnesses so that they say things like, you need to accept a blood transfusion or you'll die. I'm pretty sure if a doctor were to say that, they wouldn't be doing it to intimidate someone or to bully them, or just for the thrill of administering a blood transfusion, I'm pretty sure in the vast majority of cases where that gets said in a hospital setting, the doctor is not bluffing. That individual really does need a blood transfusion if they're going to survive. And yet Stephen Lett is perpetuating this myth that doctors are somehow out to get Jehovah's Witnesses. They're out to trip them up in some way. They're out to stumble them and make them compromise in their faith to Jehovah. Disgusting behavior, and grossly hypocritical for him to be droning on about intimidation when he fronts an organization that intimidates millions of Jehovah's Witnesses with the threat of estrangement from their loved ones if they question his authority. He's not just a useful idiot, is he? He's not just, a couple of cents short of $1. He is a nasty piece of work. And for him to talk about homosexuality in that way as well. I mean, I'm sure there are situations where not just Jehovah's Witnesses, but people of any denomination, young people of any religious or non-religious persuasion, are bullied with claims that they might be gay if they're not interested in so-and-so. But that's not exclusive to Jehovah's Witnesses. That's taking a typical scenario in a high school classroom that affects everybody, that is experienced by people of almost any religious background, or students or pupils of any religious background, and making it out as though Jehovah's Witnesses are somehow unique. In other words, perpetuating this siege mentality of the world is out to get us. The shady charlatanry, the propaganda, the manipulation is on full display in Stephen Lett's mad ramblings here.